Endogamy, that term that sounds like an ancient technique to preserve the purity of blood, has left indelible scars throughout human history. These scars affected not just the most powerful classes, but had devastating repercussions on the genetics and health of its practitioners. Historically, endogamy has been a tool used by elites to keep power within their families. The idea was simple: if they hunted each other, power, wealth, and status did not spread outside the family. But biology has its own rules, and history is full of examples that show us the risks of defying these natural laws. Stay until the end, as I will show you one of the most extreme cases of inbreeding in history. One of the most famous examples of the consequences of inbreeding in royalty is that of Pharaoh Tutankhamun, the boy king who ascended the throne of Egypt at just 9 years old. Although his reign was brief, his legacy has lasted through the centuries, not only because of the magnificence of the treasures found in his tomb, but also for what his life reveals about the dynastic customs of ancient Egyptian royalty. Tutankhamun, whose reign is one of the most studied due to the wealth of archaeological discoveries associated with his tomb. She was a victim of a common practice among Egyptian royalty: marriage between siblings. Her parents, Pharaoh Akhenaten, and his sister perpetuated this tradition, which, although aimed at maintaining the purity of the royal line, brought with it a devastating genetic legacy that marked her life and that of many other members of her family. The decision to keep power within the family circle through marriages, it wasn't uncommon in ancient Egypt. For pharaohs, the throne did not only represent political authority, but also a sacred bond with the gods. The union between siblings, especially the king's children, was seen as a way to preserve this divinity in the royal family. However, what was seen as an act of spiritual and political reinforcement became a source of physical weakness and personal suffering. Tutankhamun, known in his time as Tutankhaten before changing his name to reflect the return to the worship of the god Amun, was not an exception to the consequences of these practices. Modern genetic studies conducted on Tutankhamun's mummy have revealed that the pharaoh suffered from a variety of genetic disorders that compromised his health from an early age. DNA analysis has shown that Tutankhamun had a clubfoot, a congenital deformity that made it difficult for him to walk without assistance. In fact, more than 130 walking sticks have been found in his tomb, suggesting that he relied on them to move around. Furthermore, recent studies have indicated that he suffered from scoliosis, an abnormal curvature of the spine, which undoubtedly added another layer of suffering to his already fragile physical condition.